Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you today. And I love to talk about unmasking our potential when we get into the month of October and we're experiencing all those season changes and the rhythm starts to adjust. I think it's really important that we continue to step forward. We continue to become more of who we are, and we continue to unmask, take those masks off, our true power, who we authentically are and are becoming. So often we wear different masks or show up differently in different roles. Instead of all these differences, I keep using that word different, instead of being more aligned and consistent in who we truly are, taking that mask off. And there's such power in who we are when we're willing to take that mask off and be more consistent in how we're showing up, who we're choosing to be, and what we're trusting the world with, letting them see. Are we willing to take that mask off and really tap into our power to become undone, just releasing that mask, and unafraid? There's such power when we are willing to step into that. Our amazing guest today, I know you're going to love her heart, her energy, her spirit as she shares some of her journey and story. And she has stepped into the world in such a powerful way that she's actually not only gone through trauma, she's come through the other side and is now reaching out to really help others do the same and tap into their true power, who they really are, without fear, unafraid, willing to just step forward consistently, authentically, and powerfully. So very excited about sharing Becky with all of you today, helping all of us become unmasked, unafraid, stepping fully into our power. And to help us do that, I want to invite you to be truly present. That means not multitasking, taking a breath for you, carving this time and space out where you can tune in and receive. We're so good at multitasking and pouring into others. This is a time for you. I claim it. It's an opportunity for you to receive and be poured into. So I encourage you to just sit, breathe, receive. Any of those squiggly thoughts or emotions or things that are pinging you, you can just lovingly breathe them and move them into a box, and you can open the box after our time together today. This is your time. And I want you to get everything out of our conversation today because I know there's something for you here. That's why you tuned in. And I want you to be able to receive everything that is here for you. Beautiful. So to do that, let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And I like to picture it going all the way to your toes. Well, my toes, your breath can go to your toes. And I wiggle my toes actually to make sure there's movement, energy, and flow. So all the way to our toes, taking that deep breath in. And then breathe out like you're pushing through a straw, breathing out through a straw. Releasing all that no longer serves. Continue that beautiful breath in, feel its support, all that lovely oxygen coming in. And as you breathe out, it creates room and space for more. In fact, let's close our eyes. You're absolutely safe. Put both hands on your heart, continuing to breathe. And notice that beat of your heart. And then notice that pause, that little quiet space in between the beats. Closing your eyes, tuning in. What is that little pause, that quiet space, that still small voice? What is it whispering to you today? What is it reminding you of, sharing with you? What does it want you to know? What is it that you need today to encourage, empower, help you unmask more of who you truly are? What do you need today? Beautiful. Let's breathe that in, receive that beautiful information and insight. Take another breath. Breathing out and in again. Open your eyes, become fully present. Move your shoulders even. Let's make sure you're in your body, fully present. Beautiful. Wonderful. And take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart. That message, that reminder, what it is that you need and are willing to receive. Let's take a moment and interact with that. Let's bring it into reality. So it's not just swirling around in you, but actually coming forward. And we're co-creating that. We're bringing it forward. And keep that notebook page handy. I want you taking notes throughout our time together today as insights bubble up from something we share, something that bubbles up within you in response to what's being shared or the energy we're holding together. Be open to receive everything that comes forward. And I encourage you to write it down. That helps you integrate it. It helps it become more solid for you and your life. And it's something you can refer back to as we continue our conversation today and after the show. So take notes. That's my other big tip as we continue our time together today. And also, we're recording. So if there's a portion of this you ever want to go back to, listen to again, rewind, you can absolutely do that. And you just really want to be present and receive, all great. And you can always go back and listen again to different parts that are supportive of you. Oh, as you have taken this time to connect in, to listen, to receive, I just honor and celebrate that. And what came up for me as we connected in is just this reminder, almost a relaxing, that I can just release any of those masks or certain ways I want to show up in the world or be. I can just be and connect, receive, and step forward together with all of you. And Becky, as we connect in and have listened to our hearts for a moment this morning, was there anything on your heart that you want to share with our listeners today?
Yeah, I would love to. And I'm so grateful to get to share this space with you, Rebecca, and all of your listeners. And also, I just love so much how you open this space. What my heart is feeling is just such a sense of this shared human experience. And as you're talking about unmasking and becoming undone, it really hit me as we were all breathing together how, it's not really about, it's about our individual stories. There is this individual cool thing we get to manifest in our own lives, but that in a wider, bigger way, it's really this very human becoming, evolving. It's a very connected thing that we're all doing together, and there's something really safe, I think, in that. I feel safe, stepping into the into this interview space, like it kind of was this little whisper of like, hey, don't worry, it's not about you. It's not really about you. And that was really comforting to feel that. But that it's really about what we're doing in this space. It's about all of us.
Beautiful.
That means none of us are alone, and we're all safe. So that's, yeah, I really appreciated that moment. Thanks for creating that, Rebecca.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing it with me and all of our listeners, that we have this opportunity, whether you're listening live or to the replay. In a sense, time doesn't matter. We get to connect in this space that we are creating together, and each of you are an important part of that. And I love that there is almost this just breathe and space. We can be together, connected, safe, and we're creating it together. It's not about any one of us. It's about all of us coming together and supporting each other and pouring into each other. So thank you, Becky, for sharing. I appreciate that. Listeners, we are getting ready to go to our first commercial break. And as we do so, I want to invite you to stay in this space. Continue to listen as Becky has shared and I have shared what's coming forward. Listen to the messages. See what your heart is sharing with you. And we will continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. It's amazing to me what a shift can happen in just 1 minute, 2 minutes of intentionally pausing and connecting and listening and giving ourselves that freedom to just be and maybe notice what our heart is saying every beat. It's giving us messages every pause. Maybe things that are trying to catch our attention, a bird outside, a leaf blowing in the wind. There's opportunities for us to connect in, become present, and listen. And I find when I do that, I'm able to be calmer, more present. My energy goes up. I'm more focused, and there's more joy in my steps when I am able to be present. And it also gives me the opportunity, because we're going to be talking about trauma as well today, and unmasking, which can always, it can be a little bit of an uneven process. So having those moments where you're pausing and giving yourself breath and room to be, to feel, can be so powerful. And I know Becky has so much wisdom and insight to share from her experiences, her story, and all the different ways that she supports others. And so I wanted to take a moment and share a little bit about her. You got to meet her on a heart level in our opening segment. And then I wanted to give you a snapshot. You can always dig in, go deeper. You'll see her website and contact information in the show information. And we will also share it again at the end of the show. But I wanted to give you a snapshot today. So, Becky Moller is a spiritual seeker, writer, and mindfulness teacher. She has a BA in English education, minors in music, marriage, family, and human development from BYU. And she offers a range of mindfulness programs and is very passionate about helping you unmask your potential, step fully into the truth as you are, and connect fully, deeply with all of who you are. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the heart-centered, powerful, mindful expert, Becky Moller, to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm so excited to be here.
I am thrilled and excited to have you joining us today. I always enjoy the opportunity to share some space with you and connect with your energy. And I know our listeners are going to enjoy and appreciate that as well. I wanted to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of mindfulness and stepping into our potential, connecting on a mind, body, soul, spirit, why are all of those things so important to you personally, and that you have dedicated so much of your time and energy to create programs and walk beside people in those spaces?
Yeah. Well, I love how you start your program and just such the emphasis of what you talk about. It's this present moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's this presence. It's like the energy that we're bringing to what we're doing. And what I love about that message is it's so simple.
Mm.
It applies to every person on the planet, and it can improve the quality of our lives, no matter what it is that we're doing. And I know for my life, I think before kind of going through some of the traumas that you mentioned, or this kind of that undoing idea, I thought my life was really focused on like, what am I doing? Am I doing everything right? Am I getting somewhere? You know, am I achieving the things? And once trauma came into my life and kind of flipped that way of being on its head, I was just lost. I didn't know how to pick up pieces, because all of those identities were who I thought I was. And so if those identities weren't intact, then I was nothing. And I just really couldn't function. And finding that through mind, body, spirit, through like coming home and kind of being forced to just like, can I just be present in this moment? Because to be beyond that was not sustainable. I couldn't do it because it felt so overwhelming. The challenges I was facing, the emotions I was experiencing, it all just felt so overwhelming that it almost like forced me to be present, because that was the only safe place, you know. But then in finding that place of stillness, of presence, of that mind, body, spirit, like becoming aware of myself on that deeper level, it like opened an entirely new world to me that was just so life-changing. And I just realized so deeply that like this world is available to all of us. It's available to all of us, and it's here for the taking. And no matter what it is we're moving through, no matter what it is, the challenge we're facing in our lives or the situation that we're dealing with, awakening to this deeper dimension that's right here, it can just transform our lives, really regardless of the outcomes. Yeah, because it's about how we're moving through instead of what the outcome is, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you for sharing. And just one of the pieces that you shared that just struck me was that as you were at that place where you could just be in that moment, that was all you could hold and be present in and handle in that time. Mm-hmm. And then to discover that that was enough and that it was safe in the present. Because I think so often we look back and we want to reflect back or we want to look ahead. It's just really hard for us to pin our wings down sometimes and be present. And sometimes it takes these traumatic, hard, horrible, and sometimes it's amazing, wonderful things that stop us in our tracks. And when we do that and we can be present in that moment, that's enough. We don't have to hold all that other stuff, and it's not all the doing, but really embracing that moment. And I love that you said, and you found that it was safe in the present moment. And that was just very impactful as you shared that. At least with me, it touched my heart and spirit, and that it shifted that focus from the identities and the way you're seen in the world or the way you saw yourself or defined yourself in the world. And all the doing. I like to do things. I like to make lists. It makes me happy to check them off the list. So that doing is very something that just feeds me to some extent. Not always the results, though I like results, but that doing. And so it's always important to remember for me to stop, pause, and be present and notice. And an animal visitor or notice the leaves blowing in the wind to really become present. So I love that you shared that and that you were able to come through your trauma and now are reaching out to help so many people. And I know one of the ways that you're doing that is you're bringing forward a book that you're getting ready to release and share out into the world.
Yes.
I wanted to have you share a little bit about why. Why is that a way that became important to you? And are there things that you've discovered in bringing that book forward, maybe the experience of writing it, that have touched in on these spaces that we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the trauma that I experienced was in my marriage, and it was the disclosure of betrayal behaviors in my marriage, and this happened 11 years ago. And it's so weird, but I think I in some way knew I would be right. I mean, I think I was writing about it actually from the moment it happened. I'm a like writing was such a natural way for me to process. In fact, at first, when I really, I didn't even have words, like I couldn't verbalize what I was experiencing. It's making me emotional, actually. But I would wake up and in the middle of the night and then write poems. And poems are those poems are actually in this book. So it was very natural and organic for me to use writing as a way to process my trauma. That was like almost just a natural response. And I was an English major, and words have always been kind of like this balm for me. Like I find like solace in literature and poetry and things. But then as I started getting serious in my healing journey and really became a student of healing, I found myself in different positions, particularly in the 12-step world. That's my healing journey really started in the 12-step world. And eventually I became the executive director of the 12-step foundation that I was working with, SA Lifeline Foundation, which was this beautiful community, still a beautiful community that I love and will always just honor so much. But I started to be able to see on an administrative side or a structural side kind of how healing happens. We ran like 50 different groups weekly, and I would sponsor people. I had sponsors. Like, I was really immersed in this group healing environment, and writing my own story as I was also in an administrative role where I was able to facilitate healing and was really having a front row seat to understanding like what was helping people heal, what were the challenges that would get in the way, what worked about group healing, what are the things that where people often get stuck in that kind of environment. That was huge. And I just felt really a deep calling. I just knew there was like a day, actually, it was a New Year's, I was on an airplane, and it was like I knew I needed to start writing. And I didn't know if that writing was ever going to go anywhere, but I knew I needed to start. And almost immediately, I could see it was helping me be a better sponsor, be a better administrator, hold space better for those I was serving, because the writing was helping me flesh out in myself my own healing process, which then became this very beneficial gift or tool that I could offer others because I understood it in a deeper way. Does that make sense?
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. And I love how you tapped into the way of expression and processing that was so supportive. And you were able to not just keep that as this separate thing, but really pull in and learn and implement all that was happening in your life at that time, and capturing it in words and in your poetry. And it's so interesting, as I have met you now, I didn't know you 11 years ago as you were going through some of that, but I've had the opportunity to read your story, your book, your processes that you have brought forward to help others. And the way that you share in this story, it's in your book, I should say, in sharing your story, it's so authentic, it's so transparent, it's so powerful and impactful. I felt like I got to walk beside you and learn as you were learning on this journey, and the poetry and the emotions and all the different things you bring into this book are very, very impactful. So I appreciate that you leaned into that. And I love how your process and some of your wiring of expressing yourself in words and in poetry have now created this powerful book and tool that you're going to be bringing the world. And we're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. So we'll share the title of the book when we get back. So enjoy these next 2 minutes and we'll continue our conversation shortly.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and you took an opportunity to practice being present and seeing what's coming up to your and in your heart, in your spirit. Perhaps you're going to explore writing, journaling. Maybe that's a way you can process and bring forward. I find for myself, that is such a powerful way to receive information and to process it, where it's not just all swirling around in me, but when I can write it, and I like to physically write it, when I can write it out, I feel more connected. I can see my thoughts. I can sort through tangles a bit. I can release some things because I don't have to worry about forgetting it or whatever. It's down on the paper. It's in the notebook, and I use a journal, and then I can close the journal when I'm complete with that for right now. Then I can come back. I find that's a powerful interactive space for me, and I love that Becky has the gifting around expression. I found her use of language in her book and the expression and the emotion that she's able to bring forward really tapped into my heart and my emotions and helped me process and bring things forward. So there was something, and is something very alive in what you've created, Becky. And so I am excited that it's getting ready to share with the world. And I know we didn't share the title. I promised we would. So can you share the title and the full title, the subtitle included, for listeners to kind of write that down because it's coming out soon?
Yes, it's coming out soon. So the title is Undone, Unafraid, Evolving Through Trauma, Betrayal, Femininity and Faith.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So that's going to be coming out. And there's going to be a special release. And do you mind sharing the date and just a little bit of those details?
Yeah, the release will be on November 11th. So I'm super excited for that. And we'll be offering it at a special rate of only $199 for the first 24 to 48 hours. So I really hope it can just kind of get it out there.
Beautiful. I love that 11/11.
Yeah.
Easy to remember. Mark on the calendar. And for those of you who have been listening and following for a while, we always like to let you know when an amazing book's coming out and that special rate. And Becky will share a little bit later on how you can get on her list, and she can email you the special link on the day of launch. You can also watch for it on Amazon. We're going to be sharing it out in social media that you'll be able to sink in and lead in and get a copy of this book. I know that it will be so impactful for you. And especially I'm thinking about the holidays as we're coming forward. There's just a lot of stuff that can get stirred up around the holidays. And it may not be a betrayal trauma. It might be something else that's hard or a loss. And I find and it might be a betrayal trauma, but some of the processes and how Becky shares, I feel like could really meet us where we're at and help us move forward in a grounded way, more in our power instead of being almost hijack sometimes. Our emotions can hijack us for a while. So being able to come through that and keep stepping forward. So I love the timing. I know that was very deliberate in bringing it forward. And I'd love for you to describe the cover, because I know you're also very deliberate in how the cover came together and what it is showing. And then it also gives our listeners a visual of what to watch for on 11/11.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and maybe I'll mention too, like when I did the title, I know my subtitle is kind of long, evolving through trauma, betrayal, femininity, and faith. But I really felt like all four of those pieces were really crucial in the title because, as you mentioned, Rebecca, like it's not my story is a betrayal trauma, but the process of healing is so applicable. It's really so universal, and I had advanced readers from men and women. Very few of them had experienced betrayal traumas, but there's something there. Really, any loss, any trauma. And for women, there's a lot there about how we define ourselves as women. And there's also a lot there about kind of this, the way we engage with faith or impacts the way we're able to move through traumas. Or even can create trauma. So it's like really a lot more than just a betrayal trauma story. And I wanted my readers to understand that. The cover is kind of this silhouette of a woman, but it's very, it's like being shattered. So it almost looks like a Rorschach drawing, if you remember those from like psychology back in the day. And I really like that because
the ink blot ones,
yes, the ink blot.
Okay,
Yes, the ink blot. So it kind of has that sense of like the ink blot, and then in the background there's like kind of an analogy of a glacier melting throughout this story, that kind of carries you through the journey or the narrative. And so that's kind of in the background, but the front is kind of this ink blot that's like kind of just shattering or evaporating. It's messy, and you almost have to look at it like, what is that? And it's kind of, and that feeling of the messiness, of what it is to really move through these human experiences. It's not clean. It's not perfect. It's not, airbrushed. It's like very messy, but there's like a beauty in it. That's the feeling I wanted to evoke with the cover. And that's very much the feel and the energy throughout the book. Is really finding the beauty and the power in that messiness of being kind of shattered or undone, that there's power in it.
Beautiful. And I love it. It has almost these little ink splatters and spots and so all these separate little pieces. But then when you step back a little bit, you can kind of see the silhouette, the beauty, and it starts to come together of all those different parts, aligning. So I felt like it just had so many beautiful messages in the cover design itself. So I love that you spent so much time and care in that to bring that message forward to people who even just look at the cover. So I encourage everyone, look at the cover, a little bit of the story, the message behind that, even before you step into the beautiful content of her book. So thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. And I was thinking, we may have listeners right now that are in the middle of a challenging time that could be their trauma or their rock bottom, or it's just a really hard moment. What would your advice be to help them? Because we're talking about unmasking your potential, and that can maybe even feel a little bit far from that moment. What is your piece of advice for someone in that space right now?
Yeah. one, I just want to validate what it is to move through a true rock bottom. And again, I can feel my emotion wanting to come forward. Because I feel like those are the people that that really compelled me to go through all of this process to write this book. It's, it's been a big process, and it's really vulnerable because I'm not putting out like this pretty picture of myself. It's the Rorschach, it's a really raw and as honest as I could be about what it has been to move through this kind of an experience. And I felt like it is so important for those people, your listeners, who are in that space. Because when you're in that space, there's so much fear and there's so much shame. And it's so easy to feel so alone. And what I just feel like so passionate about is for people in that space to know you're not alone. What you're experiencing is one of the most core human experiences that we can be in, and actually one of the most potentially connecting, because it kind of strips away all the facade that keeps us separate from each other. If you have the courage and kind of can find the tools, and it takes tools, we need each other. We can't get through those moments in isolation. I really believe that. We need each other, and it takes courage to reach out when you're in that space. But that if you can kind of take that just the next right step, like we talked about being present earlier, just what is that next right step that's going to get me to a place where I can feel the ground underneath me, or I feel like I have a lifeline. One step at a time, this experience can actually become a springboard into like a more expansive, more loving, more free self than you ever even could have imagined, because it's rich, fertile ground. Rock bottom is like the most fertile ground there is. And that's a hard message to swallow when you're there. But that's one of the reasons I just felt compelled to really give people a raw, authentic, like, I know how bad this is, and one step at a time, I'm going to give you my best step-by-step guide for how you can transform this into something that can be like the thing that changed your life into the best part of your life. And I know that's hard to believe, but it's so real.
Thank you for sharing. And I can feel your heart in that message as you reach out and share out with our listeners. And I'm just thinking for that person in that space that is encouraging and hopeful. But sometimes we don't see that until we're looking back.
Yeah.
So what is something they can do in that moment to find that hope, or to hold on, or to find the courage? What is a tip? And I know you have all the process that you share, but I was just thinking for anyone in that moment, I'd love for us to give them support today.
Yeah. Well, the presence you talk about, just that hand on your heart, that deep breath, like I'm right here. I mean, that is kind of the bread and butter, lowest hanging fruit. But I also want to say finding resources, and that's why I am passionate about providing resources that you can plug into that know how to walk you through this moment. So you're not alone, that there is literally someone walking next to you. And you mentioned that in my book. That's a lot of the feedback. I felt like I was walking like next to you in this. And when we're there, that is what we need, because it's so hard to see all the way out of that pit, we need that someone walking next to us, and we need the touch points. And so to find a resource, and I offer those kinds of resources, but there are resources out there that you can plug into and have this safety net.
Beautiful. And it takes courage to ask for help, to lean into help, to take those steps. I just want to encourage all of you to do that. And you're so worth taking those steps, reaching out, allowing people to come along beside you. You're absolutely needed in this world, uniquely made, wonderfully made, even in those messy moments, in those hard moments. So just receive that and be present. And I encourage you to take that courageous step of finding those resources, reaching out. Becky's offering amazing support to come alongside you as well. So as we go to our next commercial break, I want you to just kind of take a moment and say, wow, what do I need today? I know we had that question in the beginning. Look back and see, what do I need today? What is a reminder? What is it that I need to do today? And maybe it's I need to stop, pause, and breathe and just be in this space. So take these 2 minutes and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you really took the time to plug in, listen, receive, and be curious. What is it I need? What is it that would be supportive to me? And taking a moment and finding out what that is and listening. And sometimes it can be surprising. I can be surprised sometimes by like, oh, I didn't know I needed that, or that felt really good. I think I want a little bit more of that, or I do need help. And if you find you need help, what I encourage you to do is ask that question, what's the thing that can help me? What's the next step? And then follow that one step at a time. And that will help you move forward and find those resources. And if it's, I'm not sure where to go, who can help me? What can help me? Ask that question and then listen to the answer, because it will come and you will be able to take those steps. And Becky has amazing resources that she can make available to you. And so I wanted to take a moment and have Becky share her contact information and how you can connect with her and go deeper, as well as get on her list for that special link on launch day 11/11 for her amazing book that's coming out. So, Becky, can you share the best way for us to connect and go deeper?
Yeah. So my website's easy to remember. It's beckymoller.com. And that website will have the wait list for the book. So you can get on that list and make sure you get the link for launch day on November 11th. And it also you'll be able to kind of see the programs that I offer. I have some free master classes that are kind of these mindfulness practices that you could utilize again and again or have as a tool in your toolkit. And then my signature program is a year-round framework that people can plug into, where every week we meet and we practice a principle. We're building our toolkit of mindfulness skills, of relationship skills, of that spiritual dimension of being able to connect in to find that next right step. And there's feedback and accountability. So there really is a framework there that can hold you and walk beside you, really wherever you're at in your journey, whether you're at a rock bottom place or you're just at a place where you're like, I know I need more. And I think some structure and direction would help me, and some accountability or feedback, in the direction I'm moving, and the way I'm applying things. Because it's one thing to listen to ideas and, listen in the self-help world. There's so many things we can listen to, but this is a place to actually apply, get feedback in real time, and really stay the course with yourself in a community that can raise that frequency together. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And so can you give us the website again, just in case anybody missed it and they're like, ooh, I want to learn more. I want to feel in. So the website and the full title of your book.
Yes. So it's beckymoller.com and BECKYMOLLER.com. And my book is Undone, Unafraid, Evolving Through Trauma, Betrayal, Femininity, and Faith.
Beautiful. Thank you. I had one more question I wanted to ask. And I know we spent some time on talking about that rock bottom and how that can be such a transformational place with that fertile, rich soil, even if it doesn't feel like it, that it is there. I was also thinking we may have people on the other that are like, I want to step into my potential. I want more. How do I keep that going? I'm in that place and I want to just shine. What's a step you could give them to keep that trajectory going and to continue to unmask? Because I find that's a journey.
Yeah. I would say to make this space in your life. And I feel like, hey, if they're here listening to your podcast, that's a great start, right? It's making that space in your life and making sure you have the tools in place that are going to support you in that trajectory. And that's why the framework or the structure can really be a game changer. That can move us from being passionate about something to actually manifesting something.
Beautiful.
And I think it's the feminine energy is this, intuitive, flowy, emotive, but sometimes we need that masculine structure to carry us forward in a direction. So
beautiful.
Yeah. Plugging in to something that can help carry you.
Well, and then you can climb high. I feel like picturing a beautiful vine.
Absolutely. Yes. It's the synergy.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. And listeners, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a page or even multiple pages of notes, things that are supportive or bubbled up within you. And I want to encourage you at the end of the time today that you take a few moments. Don't just let the day pull you in, and it doesn't get to be in charge. I remind you of that frequently, but I find I have to be reminded. So I'm sharing that again, that the day doesn't get to be in charge. You do. And take a moment to really review the notes, see what is serving, what you want to breathe in, and one step you can take as a result of this. And what is a tool you can add to your toolbox to continue to support you on your journey, because you are a gift. There's no one else in the world just like you. You have come through so much and have so much in the being of you that makes such a difference in the world. And the more you can be fully who you are, the bigger the impact, the ripple you're able to create. When we take the mask off, I used to wear a lot of masks, and sometimes I find sneaky masks still. And they're a way we try to show up or be. And I used to think they were protecting me and showing a certain way. And then I wanted people to trust me. And yet I have this mask of separation. And I found when I was courageous enough to take it down and be authentic, messy, imperfect, growing, then people could actually hear me more clearly. There wasn't that interference. We could connect more deeply. And together we could shine. So I want to encourage you to find ways to take those masks off, even the sneaky ones, to be willing to trust the world with the amazing gift of who you are. Be willing to plant those roots deep and shine out, bloom and shine out that amazing gift of who you are. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.